Hello friends, it's Cassie and welcome back for another video here on my YouTube channel. Today we are celebrating my friend Ciara from Speciality Designs. She hit 1,000 subscribers and so she wanted to do a collaboration and a giveaway. So I'm going to talk about that in a little bit here, but before we get into it, let's talk about what we're using today. For my card, I am using the Trinity Stamps Mouse House stamps and dies. They're just way too cute. I'm also going to be using this Slimline Stitched Stripes die set. We also have this stamp set that I'm not actually using, but it's the a sentiment for almost everything. I ended up just not grabbing it. We're using the Marshmallow alphabet dies. Love those. And we're also using this 9x4 black and white paper by Trinity Stamps. I'm going to pull one of those out because we're going to do some foiling and ink blending. So our collaboration was to focus on some ink blending. I also have some Tonic Falling Glitter Specialty paper and some Tonic Champagne Classic paper. All right, so let's go ahead and pull out the piece we're going to be using. I thought the stars would be perfect, and I actually suggest you doing your foiling after you do your ink blending, but I wanted a bit of a distressed look, so I decided to foil it first. And I'll show you how that ends up working. But if you want a perfectly foiled, no distressed look, you would want to do your ink blending first. So what I have here is some champagne deco foil, and this is just a scrap of it, but I'm going to cut it down so that it'll fit my 9x4 paper. So I'm cutting this to 4 inches, and then I'll take that scrap and I'll cut that down so that I can use it on the side. You can do that. So here I have my Nuvo sweeper. I'm going to sweep away any dust on both my paper and my foil, and then I'll stick my foil on top, kind of trying to line that up. And then I'm just using copy paper, so I have 2 pieces of copy paper, and I'll stick another one right on top of there. Be careful putting that through your laminator. I'm using an Amazon Basics, and I won't lie, my Amazon Basics has been on the fritz, so I'm actually going to be looking for a new laminator. So this just killed it. So there we have it. This just killed it. So yeah, I'm just running this through my laminator. One time is plenty. This worked just fine. I didn't use a shim or anything like that. It ran through fine, but for whatever reason, it decided it wasn't going to do this ever again. So we've run that through. I'll peel back my copy paper, and then I'm going to peel away the foil, and you'll see that there's a couple spots where it didn't completely foil, and that'll work just fine for the distressed look that I am going for. So I'll pull that off, and then we'll get started with our ink blending. So Ciara is actually an incredible ink blender. If you have been to her channel at all, which I will absolutely obviously have it linked down below, she is a master at ink blending. She just does really well with those distress inks and distress oxides, and she's just really good at it. So that's our tribute today. We are doing some ink blending in honor of her. So I've started off with this first color, which is Victorian Velvet. I decided to do that in the center, and then I'm going to pull in some spun sugar. I'm just using my Blender Buddies by Trinity Stamps. And for those first couple colors, I could just use that one pink because it works fine. Inside color, the Victorian Velvet, sort of gets covered a little bit, but my final color that I'm bringing at the bottom is the Dusty Concord, just blending that all across that bottom. And when I say distressed, what the brush does is it does blend away just a little bit of our foil. I'm not pressing too hard, but it does blend some of that away, and it gives it this kind of distressed look, which was what I was going for, and I really like the way that it turned out. I do need to trim this paper down so that it'll fit in the front of a slimline card. Ciara likes slimline cards as well. So because this was 9x4, I'm going to cut this down to 8.5 inches by 3.5 inches so that it'll fit on my slimline card. And then we'll move on to the next bit. And so let's take a look at that real quick. See what I'm saying when I say distress. So some of that black shows through. I think that's just kind of a fun look that we have there. So let's do a little bit more ink blending. I pulled out that Tonic Champagne Classic card, and I brought in some brushed corduroy. And actually, with this paper, I was trying to go for a gold. And this was a step process, so stick with me. So I used the brushed corduroy, and now I'm bringing in some gold sheer shimmer spritz, and I'm going to spray that all over the front, and then I'm going to dry it with my heat tool, and it's going to look like this blended golden paper, and it's just so pretty. So I will definitely be doing this again. So I'll heat set that, and then I'm going to pull out those Marshmallow alphabet dies. and I am going to line those up and run those through my die cutting machine. Now, like I said, this is going to be a collaboration between Ciara and myself, and she has some prizes available, and I'm going to have all the details linked down below in my description box. So just go ahead and hit that down arrow that you'll see below my video, and you'll get it'll open up a box and it'll have all the description and the information down below that. All right, I'm kind of lining things up. You'll notice that I have all of my images already colored because I knew this video would take a while if I went ahead and showed that coloring. It was pretty simple Copic coloring, and I went ahead and die cut out all of my images. I stamped those onto Express It cardstock with some Memento Tuxedo black ink. I ran my Slimline stitch stripes through my die cutting machine with that tonic falling glitter specialty paper, and now I'm just using a strip of, this is vellum tape, but any tape would do. This is just what I grabbed because it was right there. So I'll peel that back, and then I'm going to grab my T-ruler so that I can line things up straight. So I'll just stick that down, and then this way I can make sure that when I'm putting down my stitched stripe that I don't do it crooked, because I've been known to do that. All right, so there we have that. And now I can start actually gluing down all my pieces. I decided to start with the middle letters because I wanted to work from the middle out. If you start in the middle, then you can keep things fairly centered and you don't have to worry about having too much space on the left or right hand side. So I started with my G and my R, and then I'll just fill in the rest of the letters, and I'm attaching them down using some Nuvo Deluxe glue. And then yeah, you could add, dimension behind these, but this is a Slimline card, and sometimes those can cost a little bit more to send through the mail. So I figured rather than add too much bulk, I would just put everything down with a little bit of liquid glue. And then we'll start lining up our little mice from the mouse house and our little mushrooms. I thought it was fun. Normally I do those mushrooms in more of a red tone, but I thought it would be fun to do more of a red-violet tone to go along with our background. Congrats. I picked a congrats sentiment because I am so proud of Ciara. She is fun. She really knows what she's talking about. So head on over to her channel and be sure to subscribe. Make sure you comment. Like I said, there will be rules for this little giveaway that she's doing. And so there you have it. There's our panel. Now I'm going to grab out my base, which is just some white cardstock that I have. I trimmed that down to 7 inches by 8.5 inches and scored it at 3.5 inches. And then we're going to open that up and take our leftover pieces and we'll put those on the inside. If you watch me at all, you know I typically like to do the insides. I don't always. Sometimes I forget, or I just don't have enough elements. But I do love to do up the insides. It's like this whole little separate fun thing that you've done up the outside, and then there's like a little surprise on the inside as well. I did cut out that heart from the Marshmallow alphabet die, and I thought it would be fun to add that to the inside of our card as well. I didn't really want any of that paper to go to waste because it was so much fun to make, and I think it turned out really nice. So we'll just glue that to the inside as well, and we have plenty of room to write to our recipient. Then I'll close that back up, and I'll use that same liquid glue to adhere down our panel to our card base. And I didn't stop there. I did use the Slimline envelope die, and I made a matching envelope to go with this using that same falling glitter specialty paper. I love how that turned out. So go ahead and head down to my description box down below and read about the details of our giveaway. I'm, like I said, super proud of Ciara. Go tell her congratulations and watch her videos, subscribe, all that stuff. She is working hard and making great stuff. All right, so that's going to do it, guys. That'll finish off our card for today. If you liked this video, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to comment down below because that'll get you an entry as well. And as always, thanks so much for stopping by, and I will see you very soon in another video. Bye, everybody.